Welcome to the channel, guys. Today we are back again and I'm doing a top 10 fragrance video with Luxury Fragrance Boss, and today the topic is our top wood fragrances. I'm going to be picking 5 fragrances. The Luxury Fragrance Boss is going to be picking 5 fragrances, so stay tuned for that. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more top videos, clone comparisons, and first impressions. And head on over to Scott's channel if you want the best of the best reviews for niche fragrances. Now before I get into the list, guys, I have 2 honorable mentions. The first one is English Oak and Hazelnut. This is a really, really beautiful wood fragrance. It's almost entirely composed of wood. It does have a nice top of hazelnut that comes off very green, very fresh, still on the tree kind of a vibe. And it is really, really nice. This probably would be higher on my list if it had better performance. It's not the best. I get about 6 or 7 hours, and it doesn't have exactly very good projection. But it is a really great fragrance, and so if you can get it at a good price, you should check it out. The next honorable mention I have is Vetiver Extreme by Guerlain. This is a very beautiful woody vetiver fragrance. This doesn't really have a lot of woods in it other than the vetiver note, which is quite prominent and very nice, but I think it's a little bit lower on the list for that particular reason, is that it's dominated mostly by vetiver. Now this comes off a little bitter in the opening, so you do have to be aware of that. I like the bitterness, it's actually quite nice. But again, this is a very, very nice fragrance, and the price on this one cannot be beat. It's very, very inexpensive, so you should check that one out if you get the chance.
So how's it going, everybody? My name's Scott from the Luxury Fragrance Boss channel. First of all, I want to say a massive thank you to Phil from Dr. Fragrance channel for reaching out to me to do this collaboration of our top 10 woody scents. And I really hope you enjoy the 5 that I've picked out, as we've picked out 5 each. So I really hope you enjoy the 5 that I've chosen for myself. Now, in number 5, I'm going to go to quite a big house, quite a well-known house, the House of Amouage. I'm going to go with Jubilation 25. To me, this is just a beautiful classic, classy smelling fragrance. This one really does smell like money. It's perfect for the office, perfect for sort of an evening out, something like that. If you want to smell, I guess, fairly wealthy and fairly classy, you cannot go wrong with this one. Now it's got some beautiful woody notes in there. You've got one of my favorite types of cedar wood, which is Atlas cedar wood. You've also got some Guyak wood and some oud wood in this one. What really makes this one special though is it's the blackberry that sits in the top note. It just gives it a little tang to the top of it, which, I mean, that blackberry holds on all the way throughout the time I'm wearing the fragrance anyway. But yeah, I mean, for this one, just a beautiful, classy smelling woody fragrance. You cannot beat Amouage Jubilation 25. So in number 5, obviously that one there. So in number 4, I've picked a fairly new house, or a fragrance from a fairly new house. A beautiful, clean, really fresh smelling woody fragrance. It's from a house called Aaron Terence Hughes. So far, they're only available in the UK, a couple of stores, as well as Aaron Terence Hughes' website, which is aaronterencehughes.co.uk. Otherwise, they're available at Bloom Perfumery and also Fascinations Perfume. So yeah, unfortunately just available in the UK right now, but he's working on discovery sets, which can be, I guess, shipped internationally. And he's also working on getting into the US as well. So hopefully they'll be available in a lot more places very, very soon. But the one that I'm talking about is cedarwood and bergamot. Now, I don't really go for sort of clean, fresh, woody fragrances because I like a little bit of spice and I like a little bit of depth to my fragrances. But this one I do really, really enjoy. If you, like I say, if you're looking for something clean and fresh, especially for the summer months, you cannot beat this one. I mean, it's got some really sort of sharp, citrusy notes that sit in the top, but they just sit perfectly on top of the cedarwood. It's just an absolutely gorgeous fragrance, and you get out of this exactly what it says on the can, as they say. So cedarwood and bergamot. Just go over the full notes of this one. In the top notes, you've got Spanish lavender, Sicilian lemon, mandarin, neroli, and bergamot. So just in the top alone, you've got so many sort of sharp, nice, tangy, citrusy notes, and they really give it that sort of fresh, really sort of clean smell to it, which does die down after, I'd say after the first hour, and then that woodiness really comes through, and it grabs it slightly. That's where it gets its depth from. Now, in the middle, you've got jasmine, sambac, and vetiver, and in the base notes, you've got amber and cedarwood. So yeah, I mean, this one's just a beautiful, clean, fresh fragrance, absolutely perfect wood for the summer months.
In my top 5 position, I have Emperor EDP by none other than Parfums Vintage. This is a well-known inspiration of Aventus, and this is an inspiration of an older batch of Aventus. It's probably why I like it so much, and it is of course a little bit lower on this list primarily because it is an inspiration, but it is really well done. And what I like about this one is the birch. The birch is what gets me with this fragrance. It's beautifully well done, very, very realistic, very masculine birch. We all already know what Aventus smells like, probably, and this one, you don't need to say much more of it. This one gets a lot of compliments. It's really well done. Longevity is crazy. This has good projection, and it's certainly not as expensive as buying an older batch of Aventus. So this is why I actually really love Emperor EDP, and that is my number 5 spot. My number 4 spot is Cedrat Boisé by Mancera. Now, a lot of people do compare this one to Aventus. I mean, I get the idea that they're both woody, fruity fragrances, but this one comes across a lot differently in my eyes. So this one is more of a smoky hickory kind of a wood, and it has a lot of spice to it, and it's very, very enjoyable. I do like it a lot, and the wood is definitely quite a bit different. So you're not getting that birchy vibe. This is also not dominated by pineapple in the opening. There's a very rich fruity opening, and so this is quite distinctly different. Even if it does have the same general accords, it's a lot different. This one also does have very good performance. The projection is also good. I get 2-3 hours of projection. Longevity on my skin is around 8 hours, so this one is definitely worth the money that you're going to pay for it, and that is my number 4 spot. My number 3 spot goes to Hewood Rocky Mountain. And I'm not sure if this is because I am Canadian that this one kind of vibes with me a lot, but this is a very, very beautiful woody fragrance. It has a nice woody accord underneath a really prominent violet note. Now, I'm actually not a big fan of florals, but the way this one blends with the woodsiness really does give me this sort of out in the open, out in the wilderness kind of a vibe, up in the mountains. Very refreshing, very beautiful, nice sweetness to it. This also has pretty good performance on my skin, so I do get about 8 hours with this, which is nice, and the price is also pretty good. So this is a really nice one if you want a floral, woody fragrance. And I think for me, this would be ranked higher if it wasn't for the fact that, to my nose, the dominant note is the violet, which is, again, very beautiful and very well done and well blended with the woods, but it isn't really dominated by woodiness. It does have a very nice woody base that is certainly very present, and it is very nice. So that is my number 3 spot. My number 2 spot is none other than Tom Ford's Oud Wood. Now, at first when I tried this one out, I did like the smell, but I wasn't really getting, I guess, good performance with this one. It opens a very nice spicy cardamom vibe, and it has a very, very intense woody, oudy base. Not musky, animalic, not barnyard, but a little bit rough, but not too much. It makes it very easy to wear. But I gotta decide to pick this one up again, try it again, and I do actually get pretty good longevity for this one. Lasts about 8 hours on my skin. I get about 2 hours of projection. It isn't really beast mode, but it does have some nice sillage as well. And so I like how this one works really well with the nice spices and then adds a lot of woody notes to it as well. Now this is of course dominated to my nose by the woodiness and by oud, but it is very, very well done, and I do enjoy it a lot. And my number 2 spot is Tom Ford's Oud Wood.
Right, so into the top 3 now. I've picked another beautiful, fresh, clean, woody smell. This one's from Atelier Colognes, and this one, again, does exactly what it says on the can. This one's Cedar Atlas, which of course smells like Atlas cedarwood. This one's got some beautiful papyrus in there as well though, and you've got some vetiver notes and some really sort of citrusy notes that sit on the top, give it that little bit of tang, specifically the bergamot and the lemon that sit on the top, really open it up very, very cleanly. But after that it comes down a little bit, and it does go a little bit more papyrus. So if you are into papyrus smells, definitely check this one out. But it just turns into a beautiful, clean Atlas cedarwood. I mean, the first time I wore this one, well, the first time I tried it, I guess I sprayed it on my hand. I didn't know really what to think about it. But when I actually wore this, I got quite a few compliments. I was actually training in the gym the day that I wore this for the first time, and I actually had a couple of people stop by and ask me what I was wearing, because it is just a beautiful smelling fragrance. It took me a little while to get used to it because it does dry down, I think, quite different to what it does when it first sprays on. Obviously, there's the top notes fade away, and it does go really, really woody and very, very clean. But yeah, this one has become one of my favorites from Atelier Colognes. So that's Cedar Atlas from Atelier Cologne in number 3. Right, so in the number 2 position then, we've going to a much smaller house than what the rest of them have been from so far. The house I'm going to is the house of Bruno Fasolari. This is my absolute favourite, also my wife's favourite as well, of the ones that I've worn from this house. The one I'm talking about is Unsettled. I absolutely adore this one. Now the star in this one is the New Caledonian Sandalwood. It's absolutely stunning. There's some other notes in there as well that make this really, really such a unique fragrance. I really didn't know what to think about it the first time I wore it, but I mean, the compliments pretty much said everything after that, and the fact that my wife absolutely adores this. Every time I mean, obviously I've not worn it too many times because I've only got a little bottle of it, but every time I've worn this, my wife goes, "Oh my God, what are you wearing?" So, I mean, it has become sort of, it has become one of my favourite fragrances as well. It's like I say, it's just unique, and it is a little bit unusual, but beautifully unusual. Just to give you an idea, let's go over the full notes of this one. You've got bergamot, China black tea, you've got clary sage, pineapple, as I said, the New Caledonian Sandalwood, which is the absolute star of this one. You've got labdanum, vanilla, and then ocean breezes as well. But yeah, I mean, again, a nice sort of fresh smelling, very, very unique woody fragrance. That one from Bruno Fasolari, so that's Unsettled in number 2. Right, so what is the number 1 fragrance picked by the Luxury Fragrance Boss? The number 1 woody fragrance that I've gone for is one of my absolute favourites. This is one that I reach for a lot out of my collection. I mean, I've got quite a few woody fragrances, and I've got so many amazing fragrances, but there's a handful that I reach for more than any others, and this is my top woody fragrance that I've reached for more than any other. A well-known fragrance, from a well-known house, Larbau's Santal 33. Now, what I love about this one, it's just a different smelling woody fragrance, well, different smelling sandalwood fragrance. It's not clean like you get a lot of them. I mean, it's quite a dirty, leathery fragrance. Obviously, I mean, the inspiration behind this one is obviously the Marlboro Man. So you can imagine sort of really masculine, leathery, sort of cowboy looking, sort of sandalwood, dirty, sort of woody smell. And that's what you get with this one. I love it because it's really the polar opposites of pretty much everything else that I've talked about today, which are really nice, sort of clean, fresh smelling woody fragrances. But this one, it's just dirty, it's gritty. And to me, it's just something that I absolutely adore. I get so many compliments on this one. This is one of my most complimented fragrances. The other one that I've got a couple of sort of well complimented fragrances, including Molecule 01 and Penhaligon's Halfeti. But this is one that I just absolutely love, and I really enjoy it every time I wear it, and which is, I think, why I probably go to reach for it more than a lot of my other fragrances. So my number 1, my star for today is Santal 33 from Le Labo. So just to finish up, I just want to say thank you to Phil again from Dr. Fragrance Channel. Thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this collaboration, picking out top 5 woody fragrances. Maybe we can work together again soon. I hope you get a chance to check out my channel. If you do, you're more than welcome to check out my reviews over there. And I look forward to seeing you very soon. And let me say thank you once again. And I guess this is Luxury Fragrance Boss out. Back over to you.
Now, my number 1 spot goes to a house you may not have heard of, and that is Solstice Scents. They do very ambient, heavy fragrances that really create a mood and an ambience more than anything else. They do have a lot of really great fragrances, and I did pick up a nice sample pack, and this one is Sawmill. I actually used to work in a factory cutting a lot of wood, and this really gives off a lot of those vibes. So in the opening, this has a really beautiful fresh cut sawdust kind of a vibe, very dry wood, and this gently transitions into a very nice dry woody fragrance, still hints of sawdust, and really reminds me of being in maybe a nice wood factory. Lots and lots of woods. This is dominated heavily by wood. It is really great, and if you love a fresh cut wood kind of a smell dominated by cedar, this is a great choice. Now, to give you an idea of what this one smells like, it is similar on the opening to Wonderwood. I get a lot of the same sort of sawdust fresh cut vibe that this one has. I get a lot better performance with this one. So this one lasts a long time and has very, very nice sillage as well. So I do prefer this one, and it does have a little bit more of that fresh cutness as well, much longer into the fragrance life. So for me, this is a great woody fragrance when we're talking about something that you just want to smell like wood. This is very, very masculine, so you are probably going to want to be in that kind of mood to wear that fragrance, but this is something that's really, really great, and I think it's also very mass appealing. It's very easy, in my opinion, to wear something that does smell like fresh cut wood. Anyways, guys, those are mine and Scott's top woody fragrances. Leave a comment down below on what your favorite woody fragrances is. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and head on over to the Luxury Fragrance Boss as well. Hit the subscribe button on his channel too. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.